So the final bit of this question, and as limited, was about the financing decision. So if you look at what you wrote, you want to complete on the cash flow statement. Or cash flow statement under financing decision. Financing decision. So it's a continuation. Cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities, sorry. Sorry for that focus. Cash flow from financing activity. Cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activity. And a reminder that we said that under financing activity, we check the equity item together with what? Together with the non-current liability. Now, under equity item, I can see we have the share capital. What happened to the share capital? Was there an increase? Yeah, there is an increase in share capital. By how much? There was an increase in share capital. By how much? And remember what we said. That it can we can use the CO method. So by how much? Increase in share capital? 1,000. 4,000 minus 4,000 minus 3,000. So closing we had 4,000. The board is not clear. Yeah, it's still the camera is still picking the focus. Evans, it's still picking the focus. The camera is still picking the focus. So after some few minutes, it will be okay. It will be okay. Yeah. Okay. The next item, I can see we have the share premium. Was there an increase or decrease? Still, share premium is a cousin to share capital. So there was increase. I can see we had share premium. We had 3, but now at the end, 32. So increase in share premium. Increase in share premium. Increase in share premium. So 200. Increase in share premium, 200. Then move to the next one, which is our revolution. We dealt with it. Retained earning, that will give us. What does retained earning give us, by the way? What does retained earning give us? Retained earning, retained earning. So this is increase. Increase in share premium. Retained earning huwa inatupatia nini? Somebody? It give us the what? The dividend paid. So, note here, at least in this question, examiner gave us the dividend paid. I think it was the last item, the last additional information. Told us that dividend totaling to this were paid during the year. But in the case examiner has not given you such information, for the dividend paid, you compute using the retained earning. How do you do that? Let's confirm. And just get it. Just get this. We need to add some ink to my pen to avoid that you're able to see. Allow you to add some ink kidogo. I'm floating. Oh, Adan, you're new. Adan, when did you join, tafadhali? Adan, when did you join, tafadhali? We're not able to pick you, Adan. And you should not float, eh? Okay, sawa, sawa. Karibu sana. Don't worry, don't worry. Karibu sana. You know, the good thing is that this is just a progressive class. It's just a progressive class, so you'll be able to catch up, be able to give you the highlight. So don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Need to first of all add the ink here so that I'm able to. All right, great. Now, class, this is what you are saying. That and then we are in a topic known as preparation or presentation of cash flow statement. Presentation for cash flow statement. Of course, we've done a number of things. Now we're looking at presentation of what? Cash flow statement. Presentation of cash flow statement. Now, I'm just saying that for the dividend paid, in most cases, examiner will not give you the dividend paid direct as they give in this question. And what you use is the retained earning that will help you to get the dividend paid. Right. So you open up an account, the retained earning account. Retained earning account, and I know that this is debit, this is credit. So when I talk about retained earning, does it have a debit or a credit balance? Yes. Retained earning. Does it have a debit or a credit balance? Step by step. From the knowledge that you have. It has a credit. So the balance that is brought down, it's credited. The balance that is carried down is debited. So can you give me the balance that is? So in the previous year, what is the balance for retained earning? The previous year. Just look from where we have the retained earning. Ndio maana nimetaka kuifanya time tumefika kwa the retained earning. 3600. 3600. The balance that is carried down is the current year, which is 5200. And then you ask yourself, from the income statement, how much was the profit for the year? Ningapi? Profit for the year was how much? From the income statement. How much? How much was the profit for the year? Just check from the income statement, profit for the year. You'll be able to see the figure. 3200. And then you balance your account. And the balancing figure will be the dividend paid. Dividend paid. Edina, when did you join the class? Maybe to start with. Edina, when did you join the class? So please balance for me there. My credit side has more. How much? How much for my credit? Itakuwa 6,800. 6,800. And this will be 6,800. So what is the balancing figure? We usually call it bank account. To bank account. Balancing figure ni how much? 1,600. Is it the same as what they gave us as the dividend paid? Is it the same? Is it the same? So we need to have dividend paid. Is it the same as what they give us? Yes. That's how you get that. Edina rejoined class. So class, are we together? As far as dividend paid is concerned, are we together? Are we together? Are we together? We together? As far as that area is concerned? Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Waiting for two more individuals to confirm whether if dividend is not given, if balancing figure iko kwa credit, how do we treat that? That is, Frida is asking the balance figure itakuwa on the credit. That means, in fact, those sometimes, can you receive, you can receive dividend, maybe for your company, maybe you had invested in another company, as a company now. So this is just dividend we are paying as a company to the shareholder, this one. So if as a company, we just invest in another company and we can now receive, na tulisema at this point you can receive what? Maybe interest from that investment. So it will depend. For this one, I don't think there is a way you can have a credit one. Credit one. It's quite difficult. But note that the question date 21 is it's a borrowed question. Yeah, it's a borrowed question. It's a borrowed question, Rachel. Yes, I want us to understand first. Sawa. Asante. Good. Now let's finish on the long-term loan. Long-term loan, still the same. I just look at 2540, 3400 minus 3400 minus 1000 minus 1000. That is 2400. And since the dividend was paid, you less also loan tulikuwa na hii tuliongeza this one, hii loan yetu iliongezwa, tuliongeza loan worth 2400. Loan worth 2400. So what will be the total? What will be the total hapa? How much is the total? That is the net cash flow from financing activity. Net cash flow. This is just a continuation, Abraham, from a question that we started on Tuesday. Net cash flow from our financing activity. So you have to go through the videos so that you're able now to connect. You have to go through the videos so that you're able to connect. Otherwise, it can be a disaster for you. So how much is the total net cash flow? How much? Let me see what we have here. 2,000. You're getting 2,000. This is C. So talking to those who we were with on Tuesday. So please give me add for me what we had in A, B, and now C. Please add. And that will give us net cash and cash equivalent. Net cash and cash equivalent. Net cash equivalent. Net cash and cash equivalent. Balance. Net cash and cash equivalent kwanza. Net cash and cash equivalent. Itakuwa ngapi? Net cash and cash equivalent. Itakuwa ngapi? 1280. You're getting 1280. That is A, B, and C. And then you add add cash and cash equivalent, cash and cash equivalent, balance carried out, balance brought down. That is for the previous year. And I gave you the format of how you get that. You take cash ama bank, cash or bank, alafu unaongeza nini? Unaongeza the short-term investment. Short-term investment. Ukiongeza hiyo, una less bank overdraft kama ipo. Less bank overdraft. So in our case, what is in the year 20, let me check which year is this. In the year 2020, what is our cash or bank balance? Do you have short term? Cash in hand naona tulikuwa na mbao. Short term investment tulikuwa na sufuri. So 20 plus sufuri. So it will be 20 plus sufuri minus bank overdraft kama iko. Ilikuwa, how much is our bank overdraft? 1960. So itakuwa hivyo. Here 1280. Vincent Wesonga, were you with us on Tuesday? The question, were you with us on Tuesday? Once you answer me that, I'll be able to take you through the process vizuri penye wamepata 1280. Were you with us? Great. What did you get? I want you to give me the correct figure. What did you get as the net cash flow from operating activity, total? What did you get? Just indicate there and let us do it very fast. What did you get as the net cash flow from operating activity? 2560. Thank you. What did you get as the net cash flow from investing activity? The second one. Ulipata nini? I want to know whether we are reading from the same script. No. That is not the correct one. That is not the correct one. Can somebody give Vincent the correct figure? You did not pick it well. You did not compute that well. Can somebody give Vincent the correct figure? Negative 3280. Can you put it like that, Vincent? Negative 3280. And then you take your A plus B plus C like that. So you need to indicate the negative there. Great. Now, net cash flow, so we'll be having 20 plus 0 minus 1960. How much will I have here? The end. Short-term investment is 1,000. That is Abraham. Abraham, are you sure? Let me just check. Remember, we're looking at 2020 balance brought down. Please note. It is not. 1940. So this is 1940, which is a negative. And then you less. So 1280 minus 1940. 1280 minus 1940. That will give you cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent. Balance carry down now. Whatever that they closed with. Itakuwa minus 660. To prove this, which hii ni minus, hiyo ni minus. See, now 20 minus 1960, it will be a negative. So just check, it will be a minus hapo. Now, we want to prove whether this was the right position. Now, let's look at the balances at the year 2021. Balance ya cash yenye ilibaki. So still you use this. So you take short-term investment, cash, and then you less bank overdraft. So how much is the short-term investment? Unaangalia pale kwa current asset, item hizo zenye hatukuuza. Remember tuliguza inventory na tukauza receivable, tukaacha hizo zingine. Sababu we were looking at the actual cash. So what is the short-term investment in 2021? Somebody. Short-term investment. I think it is what Brian was telling us. Abraham was telling us 1,000. Plus cash. Cash ni ngapi? Cash ni ngapi? Kwa hiyo tu, kwa hiyo mwaka 40. Bank overdraft ni ngapi? Minus bank overdraft. Bank overdraft ni ngapi? Bank overdraft ni ngapi? Naangalia tu kule chini kwa liability, you'll be able to see 1700. So ukifanya hiyo unapata nini? When you do that unapata nini? Yeah, it's a proof that these people, their balances were in a negative of 660,000. In a negative of 600. So that's how you do that question. 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 Ask me a question now. Ask me a question. So for the new student, those people who have joined today, kindly note that this is a question, a continuation of a question that we started on a Tuesday. And due to power, we were not able to do what? To complete. So we had now to complete it. All right. Now, team, we can look at another question. So that we are able to keep on catching or getting it right. But before even we continue to the other question, are we all together as far as this question is concerned? Are we together? Which is saying yes. Evans, yes. Julius, yes. If you have a question, ask before we move to the next question. Remember, this is now creating the base. That means in the next question, we are not going to take longer time. If you have realized that in the first question, I take as much time as possible to make sure that you understand the basics. Once you understand the basic, things change. Are we all together? Where are the rest? Ama wamesemewa, wanasema si tumesemewa. My friend, that's not the way. Mimi nilikwambia you came peke yako. So you have to also do what? Stand in that gap on interest. Arnold, on interest, okay, which interest? And the rest simultaneously. You add and less simultaneously. Okay, interest paid. Interest paid. Yeah, we were able to, interest paid reduces what? Interest paid reduces the profit, so we were able to adjust it as an uncash item. Then we have the terms of interest received. We had the interest received. If you receive now interest, I expect that will be at investing. So it will be affecting the investing activity. Frida is now waiting for the next question to catch up. But I hope, Frida, you are in our next or in our last class. I hope you are in our last class. So you cannot catch up kama huwa ile ingine. Sasa itakuwa tricky. So kindly let's try. Okay. So let's look at another question still. Another question still. Just look at it so that we are able to check. Okay. So from that document still, So Arnold, I hope you've been able to capture that. Okay. So I want you to open November 2017. November 2017, still borrowed, before we get now to the FR, but now the model is the same. So November 2017, still borrowed from FA, November 2017. Question number, November 2017, still borrowed. Question number 3, boy, still borrowed, borrowed like that. If I fail to start there, some people will not be able to get these basics, which is very important. So get November 2017, 3B, still borrowed. November 2017, 3B. Once you are there, confirm, and then we move on. Tumefika pale. Someone can take a screenshot and share. Somebody can take a screenshot and share that question. Sawa. Somebody can take a screenshot and share that question. November 2017, question number 3B, FA. I've seen somebody sharing. Who is that? Vincent. Vincent, you can as well share in the group. Maybe it will be better. As well share in the group. Ikuwa tu mzuri pia. Alright, sawa. So, I hope kila mtu ako na hiyo swali. Unless, just share in the group, Vincent. Just attach it the way you've attached it there. Just transfer. Kila mtu ako na swali. So the question states that the following information was extracted from the financial statement of Happy Time Limited. So we have the income statement there as at that date. And then we have statement of financial position and additional information, property, plant, and equipment. And then the cost depreciation, net book value, the same for year 2017 and 2016. That is, the plant disposed on during the year, valued at 30 June 2018, had an original cost of 18,200 and accumulated depreciation of 6,300. The disposal proceeds amounted to 51, 10 or 58,10,000. The dividends were declared during the year. Dividend were declared before the year. You're required to come up with a statement of what? Financial statement in accordance to that standard, So now, at this point, those people who have just joined and those people we can't be able now to start doing this question together. You won't be able to see. So we shall just go direct. Happy time limited. We shall be able to do our happy time limited. So this is just direct statement of financial statement, cash flow, statement of cash flow for the year ended. Year ended. Just have that heading for the year ended. It is 30th of June 2017. 30th of June 2017. 30th of June 2017. So just have that and underline. As usual, two column. We use two column. Shillings like 1,000 like that. 1,000 like that. Now I want you to guide me as we continue, right? You guide me as we continue. So what do we start with? We have the cash flow from operating activity. This is indirect method. Cash flow from operating activity. Cash flow from operating activity. We have what? We have profit before tax. So what is the profit before tax? In our question, profit before tax ni ngapi? Just check from the question. We know that we get that from the income statement. Profit before tax, how much? From the question. Profit before tax ni ngapi? Is it 17 or 25? Is it 17 or 25? 25,032. 25,032. 25,032. So that's a free mark. It's a free mark. Then we adjust for non-cash item. Adjust for non-cash item. Adjust for non-cash item. So plus what we said that you can use the dial G acronym, dial GF acronym, where this stands for depreciation, impairment, amortization, loss on disposal, gain on disposal, and then we have finance cost or interest. Sawa. Now, class, where did we get Julius? You just look at the income statement. Sales minus cost of sale, you get gross profit. Gross profit minus some expenses, you'll be able to get profit before tax. And then you less tax, you get, so from just the start there. Yes, tafadhali. So what we do, and this is just the format of what you should be doing or what you should do. When you're studying here, where we have our profit before tax, you look up. Angalia juu. If you find any item that is listed here, if it was subtracted, you add back. If it was added, in order to give rise to this, you do the opposite. Now, can you identify any item? If you look up, when you stand here, you look up. Hizo items ziko juu. Are you able to identify any item yenye iko hapa? Tunaanzaga hivyo. And those are 3 marks. That's how you start. Any item that you can be able to identify? Finance cost. So step by step, usikue na haraka. Step by step, finance cost. How much? Is it the 868? 868. So here, it was reducing. It reduces our profit. Therefore, we add it back. 8 868. 868. Hiyo sawa. Any other? Hakuna. Sasa sahi hakuna ingine yenye iko hapo. So what we do is that we move. I know that I'll be able to look for depreciation, check whether there was impairment. I know that. But now, what I want you to be doing, even kwa mtihani, please, once you identify hii moja yenye haina stress, please move to the next part. Next part ni gani? According to now the procedure. Next part ni gani? They want it to come from that end. I want most of the things to come from that end so that you understand it better. Yeah, changes in, well, not equity, in working capital, Maggie. Changes in working capital. Changes in working capital. Another 3 marks. Hapa tulisema ni other 3 marks. So tuko na inventory, tuko na receivable, na tuko na nini? Tuko na kitu inaitwa payable. So nataka tu nikumbushe what we said about the assets. Unaona hatujaguza cash. Cash is also part of the working capital, but because the general thing or the general purpose of this statement is to identify the cash balance, so hatuwezi leta cash hapa. That's why we don't bring cash here, because the general purpose of this statement is to help us understand and get to know how much is the cash balance. So tutazitumia kule chini, the way we did in the previous question. So class, when I talk about the assets, this is inventory and receivable. Which formula do I use? Kennedy is telling me OC. Maybe somebody who was not there in our last class is wondering now, OC, what does that mean? Opening balance minus closing balance. And immediately whatever that you get, if you get a negative, you just record it, right? You just record it the way it is. So you will not have that task of remembering of whether inventory were increased or they were sold. You see, you don't have to keep on remembering that. You just use that formula and you're done. So for the asset, we usually use the opening balance minus closing balance. Like that. Kisha tumia hii uko sawa. And the secret to understand these things is to literally act. I told you when we were starting that the chat box belongs to you. And that chat box who I join so kindly. You literally follow and act. Like for instance, can you give me the inventory to record here? The item of inventory that I need to record here. How much? See somebody giving me negative 3,500, negative 3,500, waiting for somebody else, negative 3,500, negative 35. You have to just look at it vizuri. People are giving me negative 3,500. Nani hajapata 3,500? Nani hajapata negative 3,500? Nani hajapata? Thank you. Goro anatuambia is 7,700. That's the opening balance of our inventory minus 11,200. So in short, inamaanisha kwamba sisi tulibuy more inventory. But now this formula help us to avoid all those cases. And then we go to receivable. How much do I record for receivable? How much do I record for receivable? How much do I record? Just give me the figure. Hapa ni 3 marks bwana. Hapa my friend, negative 4,900, negative 40. People are now giving me negative 4,900 here. 4,900, negative 4,900, like that. Right. So you don't have to struggle. Now, when we come to the payable or liability, it is vice versa. Closing balance minus opening balance. We know that when assets are going in this direction, liability will be going in the opposite direction. That's that given. That's a fact. That's a fact. So can you give me the amount to record? Liability yetu iko kule chini. Naona mtu ananipatia 700 ikiwa hivyo. Is that right? Let's Okay, let me wait for the rest. Kuna negative pale, negative 700. So kitu ni 700, lakini we need to confirm whether it's a negative or not. So have you used the formula? Closing balance, sasa itabidi ukuje kwa hii mwaka yetu ya kufunga minus the opening. So still, this is a negative 700. Imagine, those are maths. Those are maths. We have not struggled. We have not struggled to get this. So tuko na transaction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are direct transaction. And this is the secret to passing the cash flow statement. By the way, in the previous, I did not tell you how this question is marked. This question is marked. Here need 700. The 7 flow. Is it 700 or negative 700 flow? Flow. Are you getting 700 or negative? From negative. Yeah, it is negative 700. Okay. Closing minus opening. Thank you. Negative. Asante. Okay, done. We'll be able to look at that. And then, hapa huwa tunakuja tunaangalia nini? Tunaangalia the total. But now because we have some items here which bado hatujamalizana, tutakuja tu tuseme this is cash flow after changes in working capital. Cash flow after changes in working capital. In working capital. Cash flow after changes in working capital. And then we come and less tax paid. Tax paid. Tax paid. And for the tax paid, you are saying how it is marked. Yeah, I'll show you how we mark this vizuri tu tukimaliza nitakuonyesha tu how you get all the marks even without filling all those transactions. Ati ukiweka zote, si lazima ati upate kila kitu ili upate marks zako zote kwa FA. Hapana, si lazima. It's the way we standardize everything. So it's up. We're pick. The correct entry kwanza ziweke zote. Then go and try now to fill those entries that require you to do what? To do some working. Now, tax paid. We said something which is very important regarding the tax paid. We have a tax that was paid in the income statement. But is that really the actual tax paid? Before we conclude that is the actual tax paid, where should we look first? Tatu kujua wenye tulikuwa nao. Before we conclude that the tax in our income statement is the actual tax paid, where do we look first? Under liability. Thank you so much. So just check under the non-current liability and the current liability, check whether we have traces of tax. Traces of tax. So in our case, do we have traces of tax? Do we have traces of tax? If we have traces of tax, then the tax that is in our income statement is not the actual tax paid. So we have to adjust and get our the actual tax paid. Have to adjust. That is simple. We come up with a T account for our tax. For our tax account. So this debit, this credit. So tax. Does it have a debit or a credit balance? Tax. It's credit because it's a liability, right? Remember, dealer, always. Dealer. So balance brought down and balance carried down. I am party balance that was brought down. By the way, we have these balances here. They're just directly there. The balance that was brought down ni gani? Tulikuwa tuna ile tax payable. So nikiangalia vizuri in my 2016 balance ni 47.95. 47.95. Haya, balance carry down ni ngapi? 72.80. Si ndio? 72.80 hapa. Si ndio? Confirm. And then you check in the income statement walikuwa wanatuambia aje kuhusu tax. So in the income statement wanatuambia aje? How much was the tax? It was 72.80. Sasa nimeona kitu fulani wanafanya hapa. 72.80. So if you balance this account, bank account hapa inakuonyesha the actual tax paid. Actual tax paid. So sitakuwa tu ile 47 what? 47.95. If you balance that account for 47.95. So the actual tax paid is 47.95. So you less 47.95. And then you go to the interest paid. Interest paid. So are you done with that part? Are you done with this part? Are you done with this part? Are you done with that part? Confirm. I want to love that part so that I'm able to do what? To proceed. I know malizia, but you're able to proceed. Maggie, are you able to see the balance that was brought down in 2016? Are you able to see that? Are you able to see the tax for 2017? 72.80 under the current liability? Asante. When you go to the income statement, just above there, are you able to see 72.80, the tax paid after the profit before tax? Year two, profit before tax, down there. Down there. You able to see that? Are you able to see that? Good. Now, what we usually do is just to balance the account. I've just picked the 47.95 because I can see these items are similar. These items are similar. These items are similar. These items are similar. So, Maggie, are you together? Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? You just balance your account. Balance your account. Plus, I want us to look at the interest paid now. Interest paid. Interest paid. For the interest paid, shall be having our shilling hapo. So kama kawaida. So do we have traces of interest? Do we have traces of interest in our current liability? Interest in most cases utaipata kwa current liability, si non-current. Unajua tax unaweza pata ile deferred tax na current tax. But interest ni pale tu kwa current what? Current liability. So, tuko na traces za interest kule ama hatuna interest? Angalia tu, this is just a matter of checking. Haina vitu ati mingi, hapana, hakuna complexity hapa. Just check. Do you have interest pale? Any traces of interest under our current liability? Current liability is in our soft statement of financial position. Do we have any? I can't see any. We don't have any. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? What does that tell us? That this interest yenye iko hapa, it was the actual interest paid. It was the actual interest paid. And we have to bring it here, 868 na tunatoa. And then we shall be able to get our net cash flow from operating activities. Net cash flow from operating activities. So since we don't have these items hapa, we will be able to get it later. We'll be able to get it later. Lakini hata kwa mtihani wako, the way we are doing it, this is how you are supposed to do what? This is how you are supposed to do it. This is how you're supposed to do it. This is how you're supposed to do it. Great. 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 We move to the next part, which is cash flow from investing activities. Cash flow from investing activities. Sasa tulisema investing activity tunaangalia item gani? Which items do we check? When we're looking at this part, which items or which part of the balance sheet do we check? So huwa tunaangalia nini when we're talking about investing? The non-current asset. Okay, sawa, non-current asset. Asante. So, I usually like to first of all check whether there was a direct item in the additional information before even I just start coming up with those accounts. And I had seen one. There was some proceed kule. Ile additional information ya mwisho kule. There was some proceed. Waliuza nini? Waliuza plant. Kulikuwa na information hapo wanatuambia kwamba plant disposed of during the year, that is June 2017, had an original cost of 80,200. An accumulated depreciation of this, and the disposal proceed amounted to 51,10. Yes, that is proceed from sale of plant. Proceed. You need direct from sale of plant. It is 51,10. Is it an inflow or outflow? Is it an inflow or outflow class? It is an inflow. This money that came in, we sold. We got the money asante. Proceed. Good. Then, as somebody mentioned about the PPE, we usually check from the PPE. We are going to look at whether there was acquisition. Kama ilikuwa ni sawa, we will be able to record it. And acquisition lead to outflow of cash in the company if we acquire a PPE. So allow me to have the PPE account. This question we are doing the working and the question concurrently. To remember the previous one, we were able to first of all do the workings and then we did the question. So the way I'm doing it now is how you should do it in your exam. In your exam. Okay, PPE account. So this debit, this credit. I told you that you can do this or draw this account while using cost or net book value, and you arrive to the same answer. In our case here, we have been given the adjustment, or in our additional information, you've been told something about the PPE or the property. Because we have property and also the plant. Property and plant. If you look at our property pale, how much is our property? The opening, that is the cost. Cost ya property. Just check. Additional information number 1. Property. Tunaanza na property. In fact, I should put it like this. I should put it like this because tuko na property separate na plant separate. So why can't I have the property kwanza hapa? Property hapa. Anipatia tu moja kwanza. Should I debit that amount or credit? If we are using cost, tukitumia cost, should I debit or credit? All assets have a debit balance. So the balance that is brought down is 58,800. Balance carried down automatically. It is the The other one, ni ngapi from your end? Balance brought down from your end. Ya property, tuko kwa property. Lazima tuende na rieng pole pole. 78,400. 78,400. You know what, class? You know what? You usually ask yourself, unajiuliza, hii ni property, right? Inaweza kuwa maybe a piece of land. Inaweza kuwa tunakuwa property, plant and equipment. Inaweza kuwa building. Kama ni property inaweza kuwa either land or building. Isawa. I know that land does not depreciate, but building does. So any item that will reduce this property, any item, anything which reduces this property is credited. And what do you think will reduce the property? What do you think will reduce the property? Tunaweza kuwa na depreciation. Tunaweza kuwa na disposal. Maybe imeuzwa. Right? So you credit anything that reduces this property. Anything that increases this property is debited. Is debited. Is debited as something. So that's something that you need to know. So additional information zetu zinatupatia nini? Wanasema namna gani hawa? Tulikuwa na anything that is touching on our property. If I look at this, we are using the cost. If I'm using the cost, then am I even required to if I'm using the cost, I'm not even required to do what? To bring in the depreciation thing. The depreciation thing. Nikitumia net book value, hiyo ndio itatumia depreciation. So in my case here, or in our case here, class, what we need to check is whether there was liberation. And that liberation, unaweza angalia pale kwa income, kwa equity, under equity section, kuna kuwa na liberation pale, wanaweza taja these items of partial liberation. Tulikuwa na liberation yoyote? There was a liberation of 35. So wewe unaangalia kama ilikuwa gain ama loss. Angalia kama ilikuwa gain ama loss. So mwanzo ilikuwa ngapi, alafu wakafungana ngapi? Mwanzo ngapi, wakafungana ngapi? Check whether there was a gain or a loss. A gain of how much? So watu wanatuambia kwamba we have a liberation gain. How much? How much? Difference. Tulisema CO inawaka hapo CO. 3500. For giving me that 500. Thank you. Thank you. Asante. So hope kila mtu ameona hiyo. Basi. Tunasema kwamba this one we're using what? We're using at costs. That is it. So we don't have anything else here. What we have is just to balance our account here. 78,400. 78,400. So how much is the balancing figure? How much will be the balancing figure, class? How much will be the balancing figure? How much will be the balancing figure? How much will be the balancing figure? 16,100. So this is acquisition. So there was acquisition of property worth 16,100. 16,100. So acquisition of property. Acquisition of property worth 16,100, like that. So they acquired property. They acquired property. Now, as we have said, that property involved maybe land and building. The two. Building depreciate. And we have been given the accumulated depreciation parallel. So why can't we compute the depreciation ya property? Yeah, the depreciation ya property. Depreciation ya property. So tunatumia accumulated depreciation upata depreciation ya property. Accumulated depreciation. Na nilikuwa nimewaambia kwamba this is the A that we put under dealer. So remember dealer A. Inataka kuwakumbusha kila wakati kwa sababu itakusave B, dealer A. EA ndio accumulated depreciation, meaning that the balance brought down is credited. It has a credit balance. It has a credit balance. So Balance brought down for our accumulated depreciation under plant, under property, under property. Ni ngapi? Ngapi? Just check. Want it to come from that end. 9100. Carry down, balance carry down. Balance carry down ni ngapi? Iko pale 10 780 direct. Hizi ni vitu tu ziko tu hapo. Wanakupea patia. Then what else do we have? Hakuna kitu ingine. Sasa hii huwa una balance na unapata your depreciation. So kitu utapata hapa balancing figure kwa sababu hii iko na mingi ndio tunaita depreciation. Anipatie depreciation pale. Ni ngapi pale? Just take 10 780 minus 9100. Na hapa sasa kwa depreciation nimeanza kupata. So whatever that you give me balancing figure pale. Ndio nitaanza sasa kuweka hapa pole pole. Najua nitakuwa na ingine na ingine. 1680. So 1680 naweka hapa. 1680 naweka hapo, alafu nasema plus kwa sababu ninajua niko na plant pia. Plant also depreciate. Plant also depreciate. So in case you want to get or to arrive to getting your depreciation, that's how we do it. So there's right. Accumulated depreciation help you to get the depreciation. At this point, hakukuwa na disposal, sio? There was no disposal of plant of property. Property hakukuwa na disposal. In fact, it was revalued. That means maybe waliongeza. Alright, let's go to plant class. Let's go to plant. We do the same. Let's go to plant. Plant account. You also need to see the acquisition ya plant. Plant account. Plant. Does it have a debit or a credit balance? Yani hapo ndio unaanza. First of all, think about that. Hupa anatuambia a debit. We do the same debit. Yes. All assets will have a debit balance. So, okay, let's use cost. Tunaweza tumia cost, but now I'll be able even to show you how do we use the other one. How do we use the other one? That is the net book value. So balance that is brought down in ngapi? Balance brought down. How much? Balance brought down from our question. And carry down takuwa huko. 75,600. 75,600. Balance carry down. 93,800. 93,800. Asante. And then you check anything that happened to this. Why did dispose item at which cost? Remember, this is at cost. Debit, credit. Why did dispose item worth how much? That means your item ilipunguza hii plant 18,200. So disposal 18,200. Hiyo item yenye waliuza si ilipunguza plant. Anything that happened to our plant? I don't think there's anything that happened to this. I don't think kuna kitu ili happened kwa hii. Let's balance it. Balance the account and see the acquisition. Uliacquire nini? Kule ongeza balance ya huku. Naona itakuwa hapa acquisition. How much did we acquire? How much property did we acquire? Property worth how much? Ukibalance tu vizuri hapo. 36,400. 36,400. So nakuja hapa nasema acquisition of plant. 36,400. 36,400. Hivyo. 6,400. 6,400. 36,400. And then I can get accumulated depreciation for this. or the depreciation. In fact, if I want to get depreciation for plant, I'm able to get using what? Using the information given. Using the information given. And let it be noted that at this point, there was a disposal. So there's a disposal element under additional information. So accumulated depreciation to help us get the depreciation yet to pay the accumulated depreciation accounts. Kama kawaida, it has a credit balance. Balance brought down. Ni ngapi? Balance carried down. So brought down ni ngapi ya hii plant? Plant 23,000. Carried down. Balance carried down. Carried down ni ngapi? 34,300. 4,300. 23. Tuko kwa plant 23,000. Okay, can you check for me? If you take 75,600 minus 23,000, unapata ngapi? 25. Hapo unaona kama kuna kitu walimesa. Kwa hiyo nini? 20 ama ukichukua 51,800 minus 23,000 unapata ngapi? 51,800 is the total, the net book value ya plant. 51,800. I hope you're able to see it. 51,800 minus 23,000 unapata ngapi? Tuone hapo kidogo. 28,800. Napata 28. Ukweli 28,800. Na 75,600 minus 23,000 inatupatia 51,800 kweli. Mbona naona hapo kama wametuchanga 52,600 sasa unaona. So kuna kitu ina miss. 52,600. 52,600. Na hiyo ya mwisho total 134,400. Hiyo ni ya total ya zote. So how much is missing? There's something missing. How much is missing? There's something hapo computation yao haikuwa sawa. 800 So hii nini? Hii 23, hii balance ya whatever ni 800, 23,800. Kindly, if you're having a hard copy you can correct that kwa sababu hiyo nini yao hai add up ukitumia 23. So tuko na 23,800. Please, if you have a hard copy unaweza correct hapo. Maana sometimes mtihani unaweza kuta mtu anainua mkono nasema kwamba mahali fulani haiko sawa, lakini wewe maybe ushavuka. So unashangaa ala, na siku identify kulikuwa na kasoro kidogo. So it is always good to check. Haya, balance carry down ni ngapi? Carry down. So that one tume correct. Carry down 34,300. You had given this 34,300. Referees referee. Naona Kennedy anasema referee confusion is final. Ukiona mtu ameinua mkono amesema there is a problem, just know that wewe kama ulikuwa umesonga basi ni sawa. Ni sawa, wewe utakuwa umefanya nini? Utakuwa maybe umeanguka hiyo. Na ile depreciation ingine tulipata ya 1680, where did we post it? Hii tumeweka tu hapa, tutaongeza hii sasa tukipata. So tumepata hii ni 34,300. Let's we had disposal. What was the accumulated depreciation kutoka kwa disposal account? Wakati tulikuwa tuna dispose, there was the accumulated depreciation. How much was it? How much was it? How much was it? How much was it? Angalia tu pale kwa 6,300. Please balance the account. Balance the account. And then be able to get depreciation hapa. Depreciation hapo. Depreciation hapo. Depreciation hapo. Utapata ngapi? How much is our depreciation? How much is our depreciation? Ili tuiweke pale 16,800. 16,800. Ukibalance tu hiyo account yako vizuri, utapata 16,800. So you can see how far we've gone to arrive to our depreciation yenye ilikuwa hapa. Tungeshindanilia ati kwanza kufanya, hatungekuwa tumepata hizi zote. Ati tunatafuta depreciation. No. So it's one item that has taken us quite some time. So what is the total? You add the two, tupate depreciation hapa. Give me the total. Alafu tukuwe na disposal account yetu, tunaihitaji pia. 18,480. 18,480. And we add. You add back like that. So why can't we have disposal account? Let's come up with a disposal account. Kwa sababu tunataka kujua kama kulikuwa na loss on disposal or gain on disposal. That will help us. Loss on disposal or gain on disposal. So disposal account. Disposal. By the way, disposal account, does it have a debit or a credit balance? Debit or a credit balance? Disposal account. Disposal account yetu. Okay. Sasa this disposal account is just an account to help us balance the account yenye tulikuwa nayo pale. So anything, si ni account ya kuonyesha vitu tuliuza. So ile yenye tuliuza tunataka tuone how much, how has all the entry been done, right? So tuliuza an item at a cost of how much? The cost of item, cost of that property, not property but plant. Cost ya hiyo plant ilikuwa ngapi? Cost ya hiyo plant ilikuwa 18,200. So tunataka tujue hii 18,200 imeenda namna gani? Imeenda namna gani? What reduce these? So cost ilikuwa hiyo. Cost ilikuwa hiyo. Lakini sales proceeds zenye tulipata ni ngapi? Sales proceed. Kiangalia vizuri, sales proceed. Tulipata how much from that? 51,10. Hiyo ndiyo sale proceed tulipata from that, from the sale of that. But still kulikuwa na depreciation wakati tulikuwa tunauza, accumulated depreciation ya hiyo which was 6,300. 6,300. What else do you think will affect our item here? What else do you think will affect our item? We had this, the cost was this. We sold that, then we had accumulated depreciation of that. Now, the balancing figure here will show, because I can see this is more than these two. The balancing figure will show the loss on disposal, the loss that we incurred on disposing this item, the loss on disposal. So tupate hiyo loss on disposal, hapa niko na 18,200. So nipatie tu hiyo loss on disposal. Loss on disposal 67. So tunakuwa nayo pale. So hatuna impairment, hatuna amortization, tuko na loss on disposal of 67 what? 67.90. And we are adding it like that. 67 and 90. 67.90. Loss on disposal of 67.90. And class, we don't have gain on disposal sasa, tushatoa hiyo. So tushakamilisha this area na tushakamilisha this area. So please, why can't you add for me all this? Niongezee ukitoa tupate hapa, alafu tutoe hizi mbili tupate net cash flow from operating activity. Haya, somebody is just picking this. plus this, plus this, plus this, minus this, minus this, minus this, get something, minus this, minus that. Haya, twende, tusonge. Songe hapo sasa. Songe hapo sasa. So nipatie tu cash flow from after changes in working capital niweke hapa, alafu nitoe tax na interest yangu niweze kupata net cash flow from operating activity. So just flow with it vizuri. 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 How much are you getting? How much are you getting? How much are you getting? Ama mwingine hata anaendaga ananipatia mpaka kule. So kuna mtu anipatia 42070 hapa. I hope that watu wanapata hiyo. I wish that somebody else is also confirming 42070 and then less 4795 less 868. Toa hizo alafu niambie utapata nini sasa. 4795 and 868 net is 36407. So we go with, is it positive? Hope 36407. I hope it's a positive. Asante, confirmed. Confirmed. Positive. Haya, tushamalizana na hii pia. Hii ya net cash flow from investing. Tushamalizana. Hiyo haina vitu mingi. Hiyo tumemalizana. Net cash flow from investing. Net cash flow from investing. Na in most cases hii investing inakuanga negative. Naona inakuja negative. Asante. So tupatia hii sasa net cash flow from investing activity. Itakuwa ngapi? Net cash flow from investing activity. Ngapi? Ngapi? Net cash flow from investing activity ni ngapi? Hii ni A. Sasa hii ndio huwa tunaita A. Aha. Naweka pale alafu hii utapata ni B. 32890. 32890 which is a negative. 32890 which is a negative. B. And then twende kwa cash flow from financing. Cash flow from financing activities. So cash flow from financing activities. Na tulisema hizo tunaangalia ada equity. Na tulisema CO inaweza fanya kazi. Si tuanze na hii. Increase in ordinary share capital. Ni ngapi? Ili increase na ngapi? Increase in ordinary share capital. Hiyo ni direct bwana. Hizi vitu sasa under financing pia hapa ndio kazi yuko kidogo hapa kwa nini? Hapa kwa venye unafaa compute multiplication na acquisition. Kazi yuko hapo na item ni kidogo. So inakuwa ngapi? P ni 47390. Oh, somebody is changing that. 47390. People are now confirming 47390. Asante. Wale walipata 32 kwani walifanya aje? Hakuona hii 51 ni nini kutoa? 47390. Asanteni sana. And it's a negative. So class, what is our increase in ordinary share? Ngapi? Na kuna share premium pia. Increase in share premium. Hii maneno bwana. Hapana. Maneno ni rahisi bwana. Patie hizo increase mbili. Tulisema CO inaweza fanya kazi hapa. Ukienda advanced level ndio sasa CO utakuta kwamba yes itafanya, lakini you need to add several items. So 10500 hapa. Nipatie hii ingine ya premium. Tulisema hao ni cousins. Hao wawili ni cousin. Treatment ni ile. Haina maneno mingi. Premium. Sinaona tu nikichapa vizuri na kuwa 7133. And then we can look for the loan. By the loan walilipa ama waliomba ingine. Loan walilipa ama waliomba. So still CO inafanya kazi. Ilikuwa repayment of loan. Of how much? Hao watu walipunguza loan. Repayment of loan. Walilipa ngapi? Difference ni ngapi? Yeah, they paid. So hii itapungua kabisa. Walilipa loan ya ngapi? 7,000. You guys are great. Hapa sasa ni kuflow. And then dividend paid sasa iko na 37. Kindly. I showed you how to compute dividend paid. Why can't you do it there? Kwa sababu hapa hatujapewa. Sasa hapa you compute dividend paid. Please just use 2 minutes to give me dividend paid. It will help you big. It will help you big because once you do it, sasa kuna kusahau tena. Kindly give me the dividend paid. I showed you. At least in the other question tulikuwa tumepewa, lakini sasa nikaonyesha how do we arrive at that. Why can't you do that? Haya, we waiting. I'm just picking. Nikipata moja mbili, we pick that and then we confirm it. We move with that. So why can't you be the first one to give us that? Dividend paid. Kila mtu anatafuta dividend paid. Dividend paid, kila mtu anatafuta dividend paid. Sema vizuri vile unafaa kufanya. Mtu wa kwanza ametupatia 7,000. Tunataka watu wengine wawili watatu watupatie 7,000 ndio inaingia. 7,000 ndio inaingia dividend paid. Watu wanasema 7,000. 7,000. What about you? What about you? So just first of all check your retained earning. Balance retained earning, whatever that we had when we were opening. Tulikuwa na nini tukifungua? Right? Ilikuwa ngapi? Tukifungua balance ya hii nipatie hii, nitaweka tu direct hapa. I am not drawing the account. So 4,200. Alafu unaongeza chenye ilikuwa kwa income statement. Income statement profit for the year ni ngapi? Profit for the year pale kwa income statement 7,700. Alafu unatoa nini? Tukifunga tunafunga na ngapi? Tunafunga na ngapi? Hii ninaiweka hapa, si fanyi T account. You just thinking 4,900. 4,900. So that's what people have done to get 7,000. That's how you just reason out. You reason out like that. And then we are done, class. We are able now to get our net cash flow from our financing activity. Net cash flow from financing activity. From financing activity. Give me the net cash flow from financing activity. Chukua hii, ongeza hii, toa 14,000. Kwa hizo mbili na utoe 14,000, and then I'll be able to proceed at that point. Proceed at this point. Pata ngapi? Zima ukuwe makini sana ukiziweka. Ukuwe makini sana. 10,500 plus 71 nini? Alafu utoe 14,000. Haiwezi kuwa hiyo. Haiwezi kuwa hiyo. 36, 33. 36, 33. That is our C. 36, 33. That is our C. So you come here and have net changes in cash and cash equivalent. Net changes in cash and cash equivalent. Sasa hiyo ni A plus B plus C. Haya, tupate pale A plus B plus C ni ngapi? Nipatie pale A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C. Of course, my B is negative. Lazima we include hiyo. Unapata ngapi? Unapata ngapi? A plus B plus C ni ngapi? 7350. Negative 7350. And then add cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent. Balance carry down. So hii tumesema vile una compute. Unaenda pale kwa cash zenye ziko, unaangalia cash ama banki ilikuwa ngapi. Kama kuna short term investment unaangalia, unaongeza pamoja. Hiyo ni ya previous year. Alafu unatoa bank overdraft. So kama hakuna bank overdraft, there's nothing to subtract. So can you do that and give me the item? Cash and cash equivalent. Yenye naweka pale. Tie. So unaangalia tu hizo item and then unanipatia item pale. Na kama hakuna bank overdraft, kama hapa kuna bank overdraft kweli, mimi sijaona bank overdraft hapo yako. Kumbe ni rahisi sana. So unaangalia tu item zako za cash. Bank balance. Bank balance ni ngapi? 8,400. Hatuna hata short term investment. So kitu tunaleta hapa ni 8,400. So si ukuje hapo basi chapa hii. Minus 7350 plus 8,400. So itakuwa cash and cash. Cash and cash equivalent balance. Hii ni brought down. Carry down. Haya inakuwa ngapi? Ukitoa 1050. Is it the same na yenye tunafunga? Ukiangalia ya kufunga kule, is it the same? Is it the same na yenye inafunga? Is it the same na yenye inafunga? Alright, that's how you do it. So hizi item mbili you can never go wrong. Na unaona ukifanya hizi mbili hata hii utapata. Hata kama huna hizi. Unaona hizi item hapa utapata hata kama huna hizi. Unaweza tu uanza kule mwisho ukiwa na hiyo information ama hiyo knowledge. You can be. So there are very many free marks here. There are very many free marks here. So how the question is marked? How the question is marked? So our earning, our profit before tax ilikuwa hapa, hiyo ni free mark. Hapa unge struggle kidogo. And every student would struggle kidogo kupata this one when it is not given direct. Hata hapa kidogo. But mwenye hapa ni free mark, so that's free. This free marks. Hata hapa hakuna maneno hapa. Hapa pia ni direct. Hapa some students struggle hapa kidogo. I don't know why. Hapo kwa kupata kufungua T account, lakini nyinyi you will not struggle because I've shown you how you open those accounts vizuri. You will not struggle. Hapa direct, hizi vitu hapa direct. Then ikuje hapa 1 2. Hapa unapata tu hizo marks mbili hapo. So among all these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 14 correct entries. 14 correct entries. So this student amepata 14 correct entries. Na nikiangalia hizi entries zote nikitoa 1 2 3 4, nikitoa 4, huyu mwanafunzi amepata the bigger part or the better part of this question. So you can find this question ilikuwa ya 14 marks. Ama wakati mwingine unatoa ya 20 marks. Unapata ngapi? Unapata 18 out of 20. Now it was 14. You get 13 out of 20. So you see, it's not a matter of getting everything to get all the marks. Hapana. It's just correct entry. The correct entry that you give really matters. The correct entry that you give really matters. Really matters. So class, that is it. I'll give you 2 questions. 2 questions in your group discussion. Uweze kufanya nini? Uweze kujaribu. Ujaribu na mtume. 2 questions za cash flow. Mungangane nazo. Muone hizo correct entry, those free marks zote. Mungangane tuone itakuwaje. So kuna mtu anasema kwamba pale kwa dividend, so to get the dividend paid, in fact it should be the paid. So tunatoa. To get the dividend paid, what you do, you just look at the retained earning, Frida. Retained earning is under equity item or equity section. Frida, are you able to see the retained earning under equity section? Unaiona? Alafu kuna vile tu hizo figure walizipanga vibaya. Hapo wamepanga vibaya. Wamepanga hizo vitu zinakaa hivi. Hazijapangwa laini vizuri, wameziweka hivi. So you should be very keen not to pick a long figure. So Frida, have you seen the retained earning? Or I go to Delma. Have you seen the retained earning? Or your balance sheet? Frida bado hajaona. Who can just take edit that asako hiyo retained earning kwa hiyo swali ya atume tu kwa group vizuri kindly, because they're there, just there. Just look at what is the balance for the previous year, put it. What is the balance for the how much did they tell us about the retained earning as the profit for the year? You add and then you less the balance carried out. Somebody to just circle on that area and share in the group. All right. So Frida, you'll be able to be assisted. You'll be able to see that. So somebody is mentioning about the last part. The last part we have said that for us to get the balances or the cash and cash equivalent, balance brought down kwanza. You look at the previous year items, and you look at the current asset and also current liability. Pale kwa current asset, unaangalia the short term what? short-term asset, that is short-term investment and maybe bank ama cash balance yenye iko pale. Una include zote, unaongeza zote. After that, check under the current liability whether we have something called bank overdraft. That one reduces this, so you less that bank overdraft, you'll be able to get the balance ya kwanza hapa. Unaona kama hii. Lakini sasa in our case in this question, we had only this item peke yake, hii item 400 peke yake. Hatukuwa na short term investment kama in the previous question. That's why we just picked whatever that we have. We did not have the bank overdraft, so there's nothing that we could have deducted from the 8400. That's why we were to record that 8400. After that, we're able to get that. Now this figure unaweza tuitafuta ama upate direct hivi. So hapa iko marks mbili za free hapa hivi. So free marks hapa ukifuatilia vizuri, there are more than 6 free marks. Kitu yenye unapata tu direct. 1 2 hapa tukikuja hapa 3 4 5 6 then huku kwa hapa inakuwa tu free hapa kwa financing CO umesonga. So I hope that is clear for the person who had asked that. I hope that is clear. Asante. Good. Any other question? So over the weekend, I want you people, you have a very long weekend. Tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is on a Friday. It's a holiday. So I've increased the question to 3 because you have time. And please, if you don't have a group and you want to pass, please find one. This thing tulisema, tukitaka kwenda mbali, tunaenda tukua as a group. Lakini peke yako, utaenda fast, which is not okay. So please, if you don't have a group, can you liaise with the class rep? And let those group be active. Don't have a group which is dormant. And that's why we encourage you to have people who you have a common goal that we need to pass, we need to sacrifice for this time and pass. Remember, you have put in your resources. So why can't you sacrifice for this time? And then this thing will be something of the past. So kindly find a group. Hata kama a group is made up of 2 or more. So it does not matter kama mko wawili, ama mko watatu, ama mko 10, bolake mko na same objective. Unajua kuna watu in the previous unakuta watu ati tulikuwa tu wawili so hatukufanya discussion. My friend, that is not the reason. You cannot give such a reason. If you are 2, that's enough group for you to do what? For you to work. Kindly hata mkipatana wawili, hebu fanyeni kitu. Right? Si mumearrange. Time tunapatana at 8:30. So 8:30 tumepatana na my colleague. We do something. We have to do something. Hata kama tutachukua theory question. Remember, financial reporting, you will have 1 20-mark theory question. Why can't you now pick that one theory question? Do it. Your time. Why waste time ati mseme ati juu hatuna quorum? Quorum namna gani? You are the quorum. We, you and your friend. So I'm just challenging you. Why can't we sacrifice for this time? And then, ikitu itakuwa imeisha. Sawa. Watu wafanye kazi. Watu wangangane. Do your best. Behind the scene, do something. If you want to pass. Isi ile ati natakaga ati ukiingia class ni hivyo. Hapana. It also require you to do practice. And that's why when we were starting, for those people who have gone through video 1, we said that you need to have 2 books, 200 pages. Moja ni yenye unaandika hizi vitu, hiyo ingine ni yako. Right? Na sasa before wewe ufanye mtihani, unafaa kumejaza ngapi? 2. So sijui hiyo ingine yako, ni vile tu sasa nyinyi mko online. Physical, at least we are able to see hiyo ingine venye na progress. Sasa yenu, you have now to be disciplined. Hiyo ingine yako hiyo. Tunafaa physical tunaiona ndio. Na unasonga, unaendelea vizuri. Sasa yenu yako wewe. You need to do what? To be disciplined. That book, use it. Kama ndio unafungua page ya kwanza kwa hiyo kitabu yako ya revision hiyo, you have a long way to go. So I'm just challenging you. I'm just trying to show you that this thing is doable and you can make it. If others have made it, hata wewe unaweza make. But that extra mile means a lot. Extra mile. Tunaita tu extra mile. Unaenda tu extra mile kidogo. Like hii swali tukifanya hivi, wewe enda funga kitabu, chukua swali tena, pitia. See whether you are able to get what you got with mwalimu. After that, ingia kwa past paper. Fanya kama 2, 3. Hata kama you're not having it correct zote, that's okay. That's a milestone that we're talking about. It is not a matter, it is not a must you get all of them correct that you kuja mpaka balance. In fact, examiner, let me tell you, hata usipoweka hii na uko na hizi, wewe unapata marks zako. So that correct ati balance your account, we don't check that. That one is something of the past. Hiyo achana nayo. Wewe weka correct entries zako zote zenye zinaingiana, hizi zingine ngangana kidogo kidogo hapa na pale, but you are sure of your correct entry. That will give you marks. So passing financial reporting is very easy. On the other side, it can be very tough if you don't do practice. Do practice. So kama hii weekend mrefu hii, can you guys do something? Can you guys do something? Do something. Do something. Do something. I'm going to compile some theory notes and share. Aziko mingi, just a summary of the theory notes niwatumie, so that you're able to peruse through, and you'll be able to at least get some hints here and there, so that ukipatana na theory question, please, ukipatana na theory question kwa hiyo past paper, please do it, write it somewhere. There are those people who understand much when they write something down. There are those who understand by just reading. So it depends wewe una fall kwa category gani. Lakini tunataka tu keep in motion. Pendelee tu kufanya. Pendelee tu kufanya. Even if your schedule ni tight sana, just create hata kama ni 30 minutes. Hiyo 30 minutes utakuja ku-appreciate. So usisahau, daily do something. Hata kama ni kidogo, hata kama ni swali moja umeangalia tu, and then you Google kidogo uone wanasema nini kuhusu hiyo IAS2. Kama IAS2 sasa inasimamia nini? IAS1 inasimamia nini? Although we are going to look at that, we're going to look at that. But anza at least familiarize yourself. So team, that is marking the end of our today's session. We shall be able to continue from there in our next class. So over this weekend, I'll find several questions that you're going to practice with. So when in a group, fanyeni kazi. Now, if you feel that there is an area that in your group muna discuss, mnaweza tu call mwalimu your time tuweze kuangalia. If mwalimu will be available, then we can check on that area. So watu wa jaribu kufanya something, do something. Hata kama ni kidogo, just do something. Sawa, happy holidays. Inaitwa siku hizi imebadilika. Hiyo holiday ya kesho inaitwa namna gani sasa? Iko majina mingi sasa. Sasa happy holidays, happy weekend, and make sure that you do something. So for those who are doing financial management, tomorrow at 5 tunapatana. Holiday ni hiyo ni after. Asanteni sana na mkuwe na siku njema na Mungu awabariki. As you go to search, may you find. Goodbye. No, ni mazingira. Vincent anasema ni mazingira. Jamani, inabadilika. Lazima karibu initwe Matiang'i de sasa. Mazingira de jamani. Jamani. Nakwambia hiyo siku inabadilishwa sana. Inabadilishwa sana. You guys have a blessed day. May God bless you, and all of you will pass.